Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. We've got Jam here. We got Harold. Harold also is hosting. Thank you, Harold. And then I got to throw in we got to throw emotes in also for Aristofan saying good evening, Aristofan. With a 29 months on a 29-month streak, a tier 2 subscriber. Thank you so much, Aristofan. Lastbrook is here. We already got a stellar crew of folks raring to go. Excellent all around. It's going to be a fun night. Thank you all for being here. Hello to, I am the Unicorn. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Lord Crashington's here. Hey, Lord Crashington. Oh, man, this is a fantastic, wonderful group of people, and I'm happy you're all here. Tonight, we will be talking about various things, video game stuff, anime stuff. We're going to talk about this very cool, Julie's here. Hi, Julie. A Gundam that I'll be building. This is the Gundam Altron, the Altron Gundam from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, the OVA/movie. This is the sequel to Gundam Wing. There was a redesign of most of the kit, most if not all of the kits, some very little redesign, some pretty substantial. The Altron, Endless Waltz, also known as the Nautica, is one of the most dramatic changes between the two. I would say style-wise, it certainly is, in that it is its color is certainly different than the previous kits. It also feels older, even though it is in the sequel. It feels like an older kit, maybe because some of its muted colors. Hello, welcome, Montreal. Happy to have you here. But it feels a little bit more like a throwback. But the grittiness of the movie and OVA, I think it fits well in that. Now you're asking yourself, Pat, why are you building a Gundam Wing Master Grade? Why did you just immediately, as soon as it arrived in the mail, literally today, decide you were going to build this tonight? And the answer is because back in the 90s, the mid-90s, when Gundam Wing came out, you started seeing master grades and high grades. Now, back in the day, there were the 1/100 scale, which is commonly mine gets here tomorrow. Hell yeah, enjoy. There was high grades in the 1/100 scale, the big scale, and everything from Gundam Wing came out in the high grades. And then in the master grades, you had almost all of the main Wing Gundams and their sequel versions, and some of the Endless Waltz. But some of the Endless Waltz kits didn't come out in the 90s in master grade 1/100 scale. Or they came out in very limited numbers. So, in the year 2010, 2011-ish, we started to see new master grades of some very old kits, including kits we never had a master grade of before. And they started coming out, and they were mostly or more exclusively in Japan. And in 2015, this kit came out in Japan, the Nautica, the Altron Gundam Endless Waltz. It did not have a U.S. release. But last year, available for pre-order on Premium Bandai, some master grades from that relaunch became available. The other ones were in limited numbers. Now, I've built the Tall Geese 3 that was in limited quantity at the time. And out there as well is the custom for the heavy arms. The heavy arms, the Sandrock, and up till today, the Nautica, we built high grade stuff here on the stream. And once we finish this, there will be, for me anyway, 2 white whales left. I would someday like to build the heavy arms, the master grade Endless Waltz custom heavy arms, because it's beautiful and I love the colors. And as far as I know, it has never been released in any way, shape, or form. The Tensei Hell master grade, I do not believe has ever existed. I built the high grade on stream. I also built the high grade in my own time back in the 90s. But as far as I know, there's never been a master grade of the Tensei Hell. We've built the Hell Custom, and we've built the Death Scythe in Master Grade form. But I do not believe the Death Scythe Hell, if it has been in such limited quantities that I've never even seen it on eBay or Buy or any other site. So we are now slowly narrowing down and slowly removing lists from my I would love to build this someday list by doing the Altron, the Nadaku. We're going to call it the Altron here. That's what it says on the box. Now, I should also say, a thing happened in the re-releases around 2011 when you started seeing these kits arrive again, is that they started slapping the name Endless Waltz on everything. So if you look up the Death Scythe, it'll say Endless Waltz on it, but it could be the original Death Scythe. Why they started doing that, I don't know. I think it's because Gundam Wing Endless Waltz was the most recent of them that came out after that, but it started saying that, and it can be confusing. But this is the Altron, first the Shenlong, one arm. Altron, double arms. Nadaku, double arms, but we're looking more of a Chinese influence, which is great because it's Neo-China. All right, I've talked well enough about that. We'll get into it as we start to talk. I'm going to retweet my tweet. We're going to go to the overhead camera, and we're going to get to building. I'm very excited to be working on this. Now, as you can see, like I said, a little bit more muted in the color. There is some light green, but there's much more dark green in this kit, and the arm dragons appear more like the Chinese influence is much more there, seen in this. I have decided what the colors for the highlighter or our markers, our panel lining will be. For the white pieces, we're going to use gray. For the red pieces, we're going to use brown. For both green pieces, we're going to use black. Both the light green, which is still more, even as light green, like I did a test here, it's still going to look great. I still think black on the screen is going to be good. There are two different colored greens. Show you there. Got two different colored greens here. And the one color I'm not sure about yet is this gold, this very muted yellowish mustardy gold. I've actually done some marks on the back of this piece because I felt like that would be a good place to kind of look. I've done some of that on my own. It doesn't show up too well on camera, unfortunately. I'm still not sure because I think brown on this is going to make it look rusty, and I don't think that's going to look right. And I don't think gray is going to look right either, so I might want to do black on this. Lashbrook, let me know what you think. You'd have more experience with this than I do. But I think the brown is going to look kind of rust, and I don't like that, and I don't know. So I'm a little... that's the only one I haven't come up with yet. But everything else, I know what colors I'm going to use. And, of course, this dark black we've got here, I'm not going to do any marker on. And, yeah, and then the gray, we won't do anything on it. I'm not sure you'll see anything on that. Yeah. We're going to put black on this. Well, on this, also, I should say, on this one piece, you can see there, yes, this is the yellow trim around that. So this one yellow piece you're not going to see anything on. But we do have this goldish yellow. There's other parts of this that will be in there. That one exact piece is probably the wrong one to mention. But we do have the claws here for our dragons. And I think I'm going to go black on these. But I don't know. And, of course, there's the gold, which will have almost nothing on the head they'll be seen. Yeah, that is the other around the chest piece. You're totally right about that. Oh, let me hit black on this inside here. Just see what it looks like. Yeah, we'll put gray on here. I don't know. That's the one I'm not sure about. I'm going to put gray underneath here. Just doing the underneath where you won't see anything. Maybe it's gray. Maybe gray will work right for that. I don't know yet. That's a thing I'm just not sure about. But that one piece that I was pointing out is definitely, as Lashbrook points out, won't be seen as well on this. But let's get into the building portion of the stream, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to build model kits and hang out. I hope you're all doing well here on this Monday. Now, I should say, this kit was released in 2015 in Japan. I'm sure people imported it. I didn't at the time. I'm happy to have it now. Um, but I believe that most of this frame is from 2011 because that is when these new molds were created. Um, yeah, I can't really tell you I'm not a fan of black on yellow and brown is limited appeal to me. Yeah, so it might be the gray. The gray might end up being what we do. Brown is really just for red. Really just it helps with the red a lot. It's going to look very good on the red notches for the claws. Um, I've also actually got a yellow Gundam marker coming in this week to see how that works out. Ooh, Lashbrook, let me know. Yeah, I mean, I'm still very new at this, right? So that's the thing. I'm definitely new to the whole doing markers thing, and kind of still figuring it out. But this part of the kit that we're building right here, I mean, yeah, as I said, it was released in 2011, but these are like based on the old molds. Um, I can pretty much build this in my sleep. Like, I built a lot of Gundams of this era. This era is like peak like model kit building for me. This is like so many high grades, which are very similar to the master grades. The nice thing about this era is like you just start building it because the frame is basically almost identical. Um, by design, right? Not just because it's easier, because you can just make, you know, a lot of the sheets the same, a lot of your spruces the same for each kit, but also because it was the, the lore of the show. The Wing Zero was created, and they were like the Zero system. No one alive can pilot the Zero system. Let's all five of us go out and make our own mobile suits, and we'll just do that. And like we're not gonna hang out here uh, and mess around with this. We'll just go off and do our own thing. And then of course the guy that created one just took the wing and took the Zero system out and we just went, all right, well I'm gonna just do the Wing Gundam. It'll just be like the previous one we made. That was probably the best. And everyone else was like, I'm gonna make mine have a giant gun and a knife. Well, I'm going to make mine have a scythe and some sort of weird thing on the arm that isn't a shield, it's like a drone. And well, I'm going to put some armor that is reminiscent to the region of the country or the region of the world that we're from, and big like cool swords. And then another guy was like dragon arm, trident, or spear, I should say, and dragon arm. No, it's a trident. It's right. It becomes a double trident. The Altron is a double trident. The first one is just a trident. Trident, shield, extendo arm. And the Epion is it's different but the same and whatever. The Epion is just studying all of it and wanting to make it it's a little tall geesey and a little not. But yeah, the general build of these, by definition of the show, is just like, yeah, you can just slap these all together. Anybody can make this, and you're good to go. All the internal guts are the same because all five scientists created them. Look, I know a lot about Gundam Wing. I don't have to tell you. Be here all day if I'm telling you everything I know about Gundam Wing. Later, we will be talking shit about X-Arm, the television animated program X-Arm, because it continues to just be the like. Look, there's not a lot of comedy this particular season of anime, and it's by far the funniest show, and it is 100% unintentionally hilarious. It is not trying to be funny. It's trying to be a cool sci-fi epic. Their promotional materials they put out was just like the new face of science fiction anime or whatever. It was like bold words. Like they're trying to go for it, and it's hilarious because it's not. It's very bad. Um, I do want to point out that there is indeed an attempt in a conversation between two guards in Hitman 3. Of course, no spoilers, Hitman 3, because people are still playing it. I'm not super far into it, but I am far into enough of Hitman 3. Oops, I actually messed this up. Say I could do it with my eyes closed, but I can notice I'm in a mistake with my eyes open. There's a conversation between two guards at one point, and one guy asks the other guy, okay, knife versus bat, whichever you don't choose, the other person gets. What do you choose? And the guy's like, shut up. That's a dumb question. So knife versus bat has made it into Hitman 3. The age-old philosophical question that certainly wasn't invented for Giant Bomb, but is where many people know it from. And that made me very happy to hear this dude be like, "Oh, hey," just trying to make conversation. There's also there's a not somewhat related conversation about a guy who is relieved to find telling his friend relieved to find out that his lady isn't upset that a previous girlfriend was sending him stuff that because like and the guy's just like, wow, she really did a number on you, huh? And it's like, yeah, I thought this was gonna blow up in my face, and it's like, no, so and so trusts you. I don't know. It was like nice. It was one of those things where you're like, I might have to murder these guys, but like, I don't know. These are cool bros, cool bro coworkers helping each other out. I'm like, that's nice. Uh, I feel like there's been a lot more like loose talk between NPCs in this game. I mean, yeah, I think that they definitely did that in the second game. There was a lot of incidental dialogue, and I'll say this. You know what Hitman 3 has more of? Hitman 3 has more of people who aren't instantly aggressive with Agent 47 while in costume. There's this real sense in Hitman 2. It's like the developers were like, "Hey, you want to kill this person. You shouldn't. You should be this stealthy." But, like, you got close to this person, so they're going to be an asshole. And in this game, there's multiple moments where, like, people are just like, hey, what do you think about this? Or, oh, hey, good to see you. And it's, like, there's still, when you invade people's personal space, there are still people who are like, hey, back off, buddy, your breath stinks. But it's far less of that, I have found. There are far less people who are, like, so unhappy to see you. But that felt like every moment in like 2 especially. That like anytime you were undercover as somebody, there'd be people who were just like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? It's real aggressive. I mean, there's still jerks. There's still jerks around. Don't get me wrong. But it just feels like there are less of them. And that's nice, because, you still have to go to work and do stuff. I don't know. I'm having a good time with it. I guess I don't. How do I say this? There is no world in which I care about the plot as much as this game thinks I do. And maybe I'm sure that there are longtime Hitman fans, people that have fell in love with the games, that like Blood Money was the game they kept trying to convince people to play, and they've loved Hitman for decades, and the Hitman story is important to them. It's not important to me. I don't care about the Patriots. I don't care about the Constant. I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. I don't care, and they really think they really like. They made the game. They should care, but they should think I care less. So right now, Jam, no. But eventually, yes. So, yes and no. Eventually, yeah. But right now, no. And then also, it's probably going to override it when it does. It's complicated. Yeah. Because, right, it's not on Steam yet. Is Hitman 3 on Steam? Yeah. Launch on Steam, yes. Okay, so let me look this up on Polygon. Uh, they're working to make things right. Yeah, there's a lot. It's confusing. Look it up on Polygon. Yeah. It's currently possible for people two games to link them and bring up their location. Hitman 3 is intended. Uh, Owners Hitman 2 on Steam would have to rebuy the game levels at a discount or import them in 3. Yeah. So I haven't imported anything. Um, yeah. It's so right now on PC, it's an exclusive, and you yeah, you can carry over progression and unlock. Yeah, but yeah, it right now I'm playing on Hitman 3 on if I went and bought Hitman 2 again, then you get all of Hitman 1 when you buy Hitman 2. So I could buy it again on Epic, but I don't want to do that. It was weird playing the game with without lock picks. Like I had to unlock lock picks in the new game, and that was odd because I always take lock picks. It's never a time where I'm not taking the lock pick, so that was weird. Unlocks worked fine for me from Hitman 2 to Hitman 3 on PS4 to PS5. The latest I've seen is the count for mission stories was reset for a reason. Yeah, it's messed up for some people. Like I said, I have 2 and 1 on Steam, so I could have waited for the Steam version, I guess, without there being a problem. But I've been unable to unlock Hitman 2 in Hitman 3, so I'm just kind of playing it like I haven't owned them in the past, which is weird. But that's what happens. I don't know. It's a whole thing. The game's really fun, though. I'm really enjoying the game. I hope I'm having fun playing it. Again, this is like my game that I play just on my own. No one's ever going to see a moment of me playing it. It's too stressful, and I'm also terrible at it. Is it my own fun? Sure, you could argue that I'm making my own fun and having my own fun. My style of play is its own oddness, but I'm having a good time doing it. But really, it's just me fucking around, trying to be stealthy and cool, and then I don't know, I choked somebody out, and there was somebody on a balcony who watched the whole thing. And I didn't know that person was on the balcony. I checked all around, but that person could apparently see me, and is very unhappy that I am doing what I am doing, which fair. I am I am seemingly murdering someone. I'm not murdering them, I'm knocking them out, but yeah. Also, I'm not long-time Hitman fan, but I'm enjoying the story in this one and how it causes the missions to break up the format. Yeah, Lashbrook, I guess I'm less psyched about that. I'm more in it to win it my own way and less psyched about how things are like I don't know. I don't want people in my ear. I want At the beginning, I would like someone to tell me, hey, so we got to do this thing. But, I don't want suggestions of how to proceed. Maybe you can update me in the middle, once, and be like, oh, well, you did this thing, and now things have changed, and we're changing the parameters of the mission. And I'll be like, okay, I don't want that, but okay. But yeah, I kind of want to just, let me be my playground, which is why I have been doing escalations, because especially why I really love doing escalations in 2, was because it was just all right, do this thing, have fun. That was what I wanted. All right, so we got to put this here. Now, occasionally when putting this stuff together, you realize that you goofed, but so far I don't think I've goofed anywhere, so we'll see. But we'll get the fronts and backs on, and then we'll do some panel lining. We'll do that. Good evening to you, Dirty. Welcome, welcome. You're here in time to watch me start to put together, putting our first green on, our Altron from Endless Waltz, Master Grade. I got this from Premium Bandai. This was released in limited quantities in 2015. It is a re-release of that version that I got pre-ordered from Premium Bandai last year in the summer, and very happy to have it arrive. Late summer, I believe I pre-ordered this. Did not have the funds at the time to get this and the tall geese. Not tall geese. It was this and the heavy arms from Endless Waltz were the ones that I wanted. Because I've never built that heavy arms in master grade form. I've only built it in high grade form. I would love to do that someday, but it's not meant to be. All right, so then we just gotta slide this in, make sure this piece is slid in right and nice and tight there, and then this goes over it. And we shouldn't have to fight too much, but occasionally you do have to fight this to get these components on. So it is occasionally a tight fit, but we should be able to get it in there. There we go. We got it in there. I would say if there's any point where I've ever had to like squeeze pieces together and felt very uncomfortable, it is this one step in putting together these master grades. All right, so then we're going to go in with black for this green, so we'll do that. I ordered the Elgato Wave 3 mic for $20 to hopefully be my main mic. Should get it tomorrow at Best Buy, weather permitting. Hell yeah, Lord Crashington. Nice. I believe the mic I have here is not the Hyper something or other, is not available on Amazon anymore. But I will have to look for something similar if and when this decides to stop being awesome. Which hopefully it won't. It'll last for a very long time because I really love having this microphone. You know, a room mic would be great. I could get a room mic that would work perfectly for my needs. But having the freedom to be able to move my head all over the place and not have to worry about where I'm looking, what I'm looking at, when I'm talking, is just very helpful. So it made sense for me to go with a headset microphone. $20 off. I was going to say, $20 seemed like a very good deal for a microphone of any shape or a very bad microphone. So $20 off. Hell yeah. But yes, that sounds like, yeah, either you got an incredible deal or you're buying an incredible piece of junk. So I'm glad you got a credible deal. All right, so let's get, we need A2 and G5. Here. This light green here. A2. And then we'll need A3 and A15. Let's see. What else is going on with me? Had a plumber by today, doing some plumbing. Got some new stuff in on the sink. New sinks in the kitchen, in the master bathroom. That's good. Nice. Happy about that. Didn't wake me up when it came, which is great. This came in the mail today. I was expecting it tomorrow. So this is the really nice thing for me, is this kit arrived. Originally thought it was going to arrive tomorrow, but then today I got the notification it was going today, which is great because I didn't want to wait. I wanted to build this. The fear was, where's G5? The fear was that this was going to show up tomorrow and I was going to start a new kit today. Do I have other kits to build? Of course I do. But did I want to build this one? Of course I did. I wanted to build this one next because it's the Nautiku. I wanted to get going on it. So I'm afraid I was going to pick a high grade because those are over fast, and then I'll be like finishing it up on Thursday so that I could start this. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I want this as soon as possible so I can get building on it. And I'm very pleased that it arrived a day before it was originally scheduled to. Fucking rules. Because then I get to work on this. At some point, I gotta build the master grades I bought with my Christmas money, because one of those was chosen by voters of Patreon and subscribers voted on what to for me to build, and at some point I've got to honor that by building uh, the the Kyrios, but we'll get to that at some point. Right now, I'm happy to just work on this. All right, so now we'll erase. I got I used my X-Acto knife to clean this up to get rid of some of the marker on the eraser, just to make my life a little easier. Didn't really need to do it, but I did it. All right, so this goes here because we've got our cockpit, we've got our young pilot in there, and we'll put that there, and yeah, pops open. Standard for this era of kit. Yeah, so as mentioned previously, we were talking about what color I wanted to put in here. This is going to be just, we're not going to see anything, so there's a little bit of a gap there. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these pieces off, and I am going to hit this yellow with the black before we pop them together. So let me slowly separate these two pieces using one of my tools here. And I'll clean this up a little bit too. Because this is a kit from 2011 with 2015 pieces, it's a combination of the two. You are going to have some nubbins here. They were still pretty bad about that at the time. It's gotten way better as far as extra stuff when you go to snip your pieces. So I'm going to slowly try to separate this. It might not be worth it. I might stop doing it. But we'll see if we can wedge these together without breaking these two little connector pieces, which would be terrible, because all I'm going to do is hit this with the black and then cover it up. But I think some of that black is going to shine through or show through, and it'll be nice to have it there. We'll do that. Doesn't matter. All right, then we'll just clean that up. Let's see. Was there other things I want to talk about? That's the video game stuff I'm playing. I don't have anything else on the agenda. I am minutes into 13 Sentinels. I picked up 13 Sentinels. I'm minutes into it. I am excited for it because I like me some bullshit anime ass video games and some light novel nonsense. So I am excited to play it. But that was something that I was just like, okay, so I'm playing Hitman 3 and I'm playing 13 Sentinels. Lord Correction says same. Yeah, and those are the two, those are my big purchases. Yeah, so you can't really see the gold I put, or the black I put there around the gold, but I can see it on this green piece, and I like what I'm seeing. So we'll just wipe off the excess there. Yeah, what are y'all playing? Anybody playing anything cool right now? Got some Hitman 3 friends, some people checking out some stuff that was talked about, that you didn't get to last year in the Game of the Year coverage, and now you're like, oh, I guess I should play Rangi Generations, or I guess I finally should play Hades, or I've never finished Last of Us 2, and because 2020 fucking happened, and maybe I didn't want to play Last of Us 2, so now it's time to go back to it. Trying to find, the rest of us. But yeah, let me know what you're playing out there. If you're playing any video games. I've been playing, as always, Hearthstone. There's a thing happening where there was a mini pack that was put out, so I got some cards for that. And the OTK, don't have to do anything, you just win deck is going to get nerfed, but right now it hasn't been nerfed, but then people are playing decks to beat that deck, which is great, but that has made some games in Wild not fun in Hearthstone. So that's been frustrating. All right, so this goes like this. This piece always feels weird. I did this in the high grade when I built this high grade, And it feels weird now. I'm checking out Cyber Shadow because it just came out and is on Game Pass, says Lashbrook. I've never heard of Cyber Shadow. I really like the CRT options for games, but this has that NES difficulty for sure. And then Jam's getting back into Castlevania SOTN. Symphony of the Night is what that means. Hell yeah. Yeah, I never heard of Cyber Shadow. That's a great fucking name for a video game. Cyber Shadow. Good name. Oh, I do want to play This Is Not a Game at some point, but I have not been motivated to make that happen. Playing Fortnite with the Predator. See, I know you're not joking, Lord Crashington, but that sounds like a joke. Oh, yeah, you know the Predator's in Fortnite, right? Like, that just seems like you're goofing. And look, I know you're not straight goofing. I know that that is a real thing that exists and is real. But it sounds like a joke. It sounds like a parody where you're like, upcoming Fortnite events, Predator. It's just like RoboCop, Predator, The Goonies, Spider-Man. It's like they're all coming to Fortnite. They all do dances. It's great. There we go. That piece takes forever to put in. It's really annoying. It also likes to pop out. So if this does pop out, I will use liquid cement to put it back in. This season. And The Terminator. Okay. Cyber Shadow is published by the Shovel Knight folks. Ooh. Wait, it popped out already. Where'd it go? It literally popped out as I was talking. I looked away for 1 second, and the red... What the fuck? Folks, it literally did fall out. And it's now in my carpet somewhere, and hopefully I'll find it. Holy shit, it literally did pop out. I was looking at the chat, and it did come out. All right, well... I'm going to keep talking as we go to the Be Right Back screen as I try to find where this piece went. And then, as I said, I'm going to have to use some liquid cement to put that in place. I literally have no idea where that went. I'm talking right now as I move around. That's unbelievable. That it just somehow flew out of the... Here we go. I found it. Okay. I found it. And I'm getting the liquid cement. All right. Coming back. The Terminator. Cool. All right. And we are back. Overhead. I had to move around. This did fall far. Okay. Now I can watch you again. Just finished catching up on Jobless and Toteba. Oh, okay. Nice. Well, welcome back, Dirty. I will be talking about Jobless at the end of the second hour of the stream. But yeah, talking about the two shows that came out in the past couple of days. And I'll be making fun of X-Arm. And I'll be talking a bit about the old supposed kid from the Boonies. Okay, so that's how the piece is supposed to go in, like this. And it doesn't want to stay in. So what we're going to do is, we now know how it's supposed to look. We are going to liquid cement this piece in place, which means we will never be able to remove it, which is okay, because we shouldn't need to. But we know that it goes in like that. So I'm going to take a little bit. This is liquid cement. I used it for when I did the cars in glue kits, which were from Initial D, but because they were cars, they were, car model kits are not snap kits. All right, so I'm just going to hold this here. I put some liquid cement in there, and then I'm just going to hold this. Should I put it on the other piece as well? I could have. But I'm just going to hold this here, and then leave it alone, and that shouldn't pop out. That should just stay there and dry and then be fine. And I'm going to put my liquid cement far away from me because the fumes aren't bad, but they are still fumes coming off this stuff. Because here's the thing, it's not glue. Talk about glue kits. It's not glue. Liquid cement. melts the very top layer of plastic. And then when you adhere two pieces of plastic together, they will then dry and basically bond together. So it is a chemical reaction. So it's not gluing, it's melting pieces together, which is fucking rad. It's cool. It's like a cool thing that exists. Anyway, that piece gave me trouble in the high grade, so I was not surprised it gave me trouble in the master grade, but it did fly out as soon as I said it was going to fly out, which is... Anyway, now we got to put these little gold pieces in here. These in. Try not to lose these. But yeah, I will say, overall, this season of anime has been the things I've been most interested in have been the sequel series. Uh, and it's been odd to have the new shows be the ones that are more disappointing. I'd say like Heaven's design team has been really solid, but a lot of the other new shows I've been less than thrilled with. Dirty says, your tweet was right on the money. The show is sped through the first 9 chapters of the manga in 3 episodes. Okay. As I want to say, when we get to talking about Supposed Kid, I didn't know if the show was being faithful to the manga and the manga just moves at a fast pace, or if the show is just like, well, we're never going to get to do more of this, so let's just do the whole show. Because in 4 episodes, they did what should have taken, I would say, 12 episodes. Okay, Lord Crashin is telling me things that I'm going to choose. Lord Crashin, I'm going to believe you about these things. I have no proof because I do not pay attention to Fortnite. So I have no proof, but I'm going to take your word for it that you say, this season of Fortnite has so far Kratos, Master Chief, The Mandalorian, the Walking Dead characters, Predator, Sarah Connor, and the T-80, 800, I should say, and Euro football teams, and you just met Bigfoot. I have no way of knowing if you are telling the truth or not. I think I maybe heard something about Sarah Connor being in it, but I am going to take your word for it that all of those things are true, in which case, what is Fortnite? That is the $1 million question, but also, hey, what the fuck is Fortnite? Because, like, what? What? Oh, I forgot. This is an alternate figure that can sit in there because in one he's wearing his this is his pilot outfit, and the other outfit is his outfit, his military outfit, which you can't tell because it's a tiny little figure friend. But I think that's kind of funny. That's a lot. It's Ready Player One. It just saw the Euro FB teams earlier today. That's so bizarre. That's great, but also what? I don't know. That's the look. I don't think it's weird when when the Sims adds all this like shit from other things like Star Wars and the Sims. Sure. Like I guess I don't think that's weird, so I shouldn't think that this is weird, but I do think that Master Chief being in Fortnite is weird. I just think it's weird. I don't know. Like it's cool, but I still think it's weird. A11. Oh, that's our clear piece of our face. We're gonna have stickers, folks. If you're like, hey, it's a master grade, there aren't stickers in master grades. Well, you'd be wrong, because of course there's stickers, but there's also a ton of other not ton. There's this many stickers. It's not a lot of stickers, but there's some stickers, because it's a master grade based on a 90s mold, so there's still going to be head stickers. It happens. All right, and then we need H1. There. That's I. This is F. This is all messed up. I'm going to have to go in here. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, that's bizarre. I'm not super dope. Yeah, this season of anime, like, Now, I'll be talking more about anime this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern for my weekly bonus stream. It's going to be a live recording of my next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which is, of course, going to be my check-in for this season. It is my seasonal check-in, uh, saying the shows I've been watching, the shows I haven't watched, that I stopped watching, the ones I haven't given a chance yet, like Egg Priority. I haven't watched a single episode of Egg Priority, and I've had one person tell me, hey, if you haven't seen Egg Priority yet, you should watch Egg Priority. It's weird and maybe really sad. And I was like, okay. So I have not watched an episode of Egg Priority yet, but I will be sure to at some point probably. Maybe I won't. I don't know. That's the only show that I haven't been watching that someone was like, took the time on Twitter to be like, hey, check this out. You might like it. It's not, that's not people's job to do that, obviously. But if people want to tell me about shows they like, they can. It's not their responsibility. But, there's a few things that I just haven't gotten around to seeing that seemed like, nah, I'm okay. But, like, a friend of mine is watching and apparently loving the Cells at Work Black, the dark side series Cells at Work. He is very, very hyped on that show. And he's the only person I know who is, but he is hyped on it. He likes it better than season 2, which I also kind of stopped watching because I was like, meh, meh, meh. I don't know. I just wasn't like gung ho about it. The episode I thought was okay. Here's a lot of it. Preview. I'm going to talk about this on Wednesday. The theme, the opening song for season 2 of Cells at Work is way worse than the old one, and I was like, kind of bummed out. It's like, oh, this isn't the song I like. And I also don't, that happens. You can't just keep using the same theme, but I don't know. Just kind of disappointed. I'm watching a few things just on my own time. The plot in the quintessential quintuplets is moving along a little forward. Maybe we're gonna figure out which of the twins was the girl, what was the person that he met in the past that changed our main dude into who he is today. Maybe. I just finished watching The Magicians, and after watching The Order, I think I like Magicians more. It had a bunch of musical scenes in it that were pretty dope. Okay. Nice. That's fun. Hell yeah. Oh, okay, we gotta put the eyes on here. We got the gray piece there. Now we gotta do the eyes. So let's get the eyes on. Let's put the back of the head on first, then we'll do the eyes. Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll do F13 here. I'm watching the Tim Traveler on YouTube. It is an ongoing YouTube series of a gentleman named Tim. It's like Time Traveler with Tim, and he's going all around Europe, a lot of France because he lives in France, and of course in 2020 couldn't really leave France to go places. But it's like historical and weird facts, like, hey, do you want to know where the tallest place in Luxembourg is? Because he's been there. Here's the fact about Luxembourg. It's very flat. The tallest place in Luxembourg, you could just walk up. It's not a mountain. It's just cool shit like that. Or like, here are places in Paris that look like houses, but they are just the facade of houses because they hide stuff from the train yards. Just shit like that. I don't know. It's really cool and neat, and I needed something to deep dive on, and that is what I'm deep diving on right now because it is something to watch a lot of, and they're kind of short. Also, a thing about Tim that I really fucking enjoy is at the end of each video about this, like, hey, here's this train path that is somehow owned by two different countries, or like, uh, or yeah, here is a place that reportedly, almost got bombed. Well, good night, Harold. Thanks for being here. But wasn't during World War II. Oh yeah, here's the part of France that, or here's the part of Germany that isn't part of East Germany or West Germany, and for a while there was just owned by France, but then was independent at one point and competed in the Olympics as its own country. Uh, at the end, you'll go like, if you want to visit this place, here's how much the train cost that is in this area, and here's how much this thing is. And then he'll also go, if you want to um, if you want to stay in the hotel that is partly in part of it you were in Switzerland and part of it you were in another country, well, it's not handicap accessible. So, but you can go to the first floor restaurant. Like he talks about, if it is accessible for folks that are wheelchair bound in every episode. Like, oh, it's on the ground level. This weird Stonehenge thing in the back of this restaurant is just available to you. You can just go to, like, he talks about accessibility, and that is really nice in a travel program, and it is unexpectedly fucking awesome that that happens in conversation. So I wanted to give that a shout out because I think it's rad that even is part of the conversation. So he doesn't travel from Tim to Tim, hoping to one day make his trip home. No, no, he doesn't. Lashbrook. Yeah, no, uh, yeah, he's just like a cool travel dude in Europe with like fun, weird facts, which I don't know, I just really enjoy. Sorry. Also, there's countries that he's talking about uh, that I've like had spent zero. I have zero information about. Like I don't know anything about Luxembourg. So I'm like, cool. Please tell me things about Luxembourg. Sure. And I think we're all suffering from. Oh, I ran out of stuff to watch on YouTube that isn't, that is cool. Like I've ran out of my cool shows. I could use another cool show. So Tim Traveler. Now you got another cool show, another channel to deep dive and absorb all of. Also, I'm watching more Game Grumps, and I don't know why, but I am. I like Game Grumps fine enough. I think they've also seemed to, they're recording on Discord right now, which I appreciate. Um, I think I'm just drawn to people that are taking stuff seriously, like they're doing it from their homes, and so I appreciate that. And I know Dan and Avidan, like Dan was an intern at UCB, so I'm well familiar with Dan. So it's kind of, like, okay, uh, let's go. Yeah, all right, I'll watch this. I just got that reference. Had to knock the cobwebs off first. It's dirty. Yes, the Tim to Tim hoping to make his way home. Yep. Took you a second, but you got it. Well, good. Welcome to it. Welcome to the joke. We got jokes. Oh, I gotta put a sticker on the back of this thing. Fine. Do it in a second. Get this head together here. Uh, yeah, but I'm watching. Yeah, I'm watching some Game Grumps. It's fine. It's all right. I was hoping that oh, I forget the name of the channel because it wasn't on but ProZD Sungwon, he and his friend Alex had for a long time had a channel where they played through games and made kind of fun stuff that is similar to uh to kind of what Game Grumps is doing, but a lot of people, just like a couple funny people that like each other, making jokes and references. But I do uh, press buttons and talk. That's the name of it. Uh, uh, but what was I gonna say? Sorry, getting a little caught up in trying to get this together. Uh, but yes, Press Buttons and Talk is a show that I like and wish was still happening regularly, but they are not. They don't do it via the internet, so they were only doing it live, recording it, and they can't do that. So I miss it because it was a good program. I'm having trouble getting this piece of the head connected here, and we'll see what happens when I try to put the whole thing together. I will say, I should be able to do this with my eyes closed, but I'm struggling to get this head connected right, which is frustrating. I think it goes like that. Okay. Uh, no, I believe Dirty to spoil Quantum Leap, which was the joke that Lord Crashy was making. Spoilers for Quantum Leap. I do believe that he eventually went to that bar, which was Purgatory, and realized he could never go home. And he never went, he never got home. I believe that he was going to, that it was, at some point, it was heavily implied that these activities were, that he was never going to, that in apparently fighting the devil, by fighting the devil, he made his choice, which was that he could never go home. And he never went home. Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble with this kit. I apologize, folks. We will take a pause for the cause in a moment or two, but I'm going to try to get this gosh darn head together here. I'm having a real trouble. Let's see if I can get the front piece together, and if that will magically make it all fit right. Okay, this is all right, but this is wrong. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, that's right. And then, there we go. That did not feel good going together. That did not feel good, but it is together now. And then I got to put a sticker on the back of this, so we'll do that now. Yeah, we will take a pause to the cause in a moment or two, talk about ways you can support the channel if you'd like, as we continue doing this, and we'll talk about 3 anime shows that I watched since the last time we streamed together on Saturday. Yeah. And, oops. Well, that's part of the face falling off. That's not great. There we go. Now the face is back on. Put this little piece in here. The back sticker, the back monitor sticker, or the camera sticker, is the sticker I care the least about generally, because you're rarely going to see the back of the head of a mobile suit. So I usually do not care if I have fucked it up, but still want to get it right. All right. We're finished the head, and we'll take our pause at the cause, because we only got a few more pieces to put on. We do have another sticker, unfortunately, to put on there. Sticker 6 is going to go on. This clear piece. But yeah, other than the eyes are obviously very important to put on a mobile suit, because the eyes really are necessary on a kit. But other than that, I don't really worry about too much of the head stickers. Like, I want them to go on there and look nice, but I'm not super stressed if they don't. It's a nice gold sticker. But I totally understand why you can't just get these to. You can't just make these pieces. Like, it's gotta be. It's so small. Can't really do it without. So, alright, put this here. Put the gold there. Put this on. Like this. Ooh, that looks good. And then let's get the front piece on, which is I3, 2. I3, 12, sorry. I don't think I ever saw the phenomenon Quantum Leap, couldn't say. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it got very metaphysical and very, like, spiritual-ish. And there was a bar that represented the afterlife or heaven. Can't quite remember. And there was a fight with the devil. And then he was like, he never went home. But yeah, it went places towards the end. If I remember correctly, it went places. Alright, let's just make sure my eye sticker is looking right. It is. Great. Alright, so that goes in there. We can now use our, whoops. Alright, we can now use our gray here to hit this white. Looks good. Make sure that pops. Might have to, yeah, I'm probably going to liquid cement this because it keeps popping out here. We'll get to that in a second. And now my mind was made the explosive transition from Quantum Leap to Sliders, which is a pretty good show with casting problems. Yeah, so I think that Sliders is a great show if it had gotten canceled. I think we would be talking about Sliders constantly if it had gotten canceled a couple seasons in, because then it would have been like, oh, what could they have done with Sliders? What could have happened with Sliders? Can you imagine if they had like a little more budget and a little more time with Sliders, all the cool shit they would have done with Sliders? And instead you're like, hey, remember when a guy's brother replaced him on Sliders? Remember when like it went on forever and like a character left, so they just said he died, and then another character they got separated from, and we never saw him again, and then they were like, it just kept going, like that show never fucking ended, and then and then people just stopped watching it like forever. Instead, we could be talking about how it's a hidden gem instead of a show that just felt like it overstayed its welcome. Should Sam Beckett be in Fortnite? I mean, that's an interesting idea. Here's the thing. Or Crashington. Sam Beckett already is in Fortnite. We just don't know whose body he's in. But he's in an NPC's body, as we're talking about right now. It's the power of Sam Beckett. He's already doing it up. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of black here. Real light. Kind of make that, yeah, just pop a little bit there. Yeah, I like that. Only one character made it through all 5 seasons. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's too long. Also, when your main character isn't on the show anymore, why are we still doing the show? Like, you know how there's a season of the X-Files without Mulder? Like, don't do it then. Like, I don't care how much money you're making. Like, you don't do the X-Files without Fox Mulder. Like, you shouldn't. You can, and they did. They fucking shouldn't have. But yeah, when your main dude leaves, you don't replace him with his brother. Legitimate, real brother. Aristophanes says, I'm all managing thousands of Fortnite players spamming their oh boy emotes. Oh boy. Oh boy. Can't do it. But yes, that is very funny to imagine. Aristophan. Hi, Aristophan. All right, we got to put 2 more pieces on this on here. Those weren't words. We got to put like 2 more pieces on our head here to finish this up, and then we will do a little light panel lining, and then we will move on to completing this kit, or to the next part of the kit, which is the arms, which are, unlike the Shenlong, these are basically identical. So we'll be able to do a lot of it at the same time, and then go into the finer details for each kit. But these are basically the same. All right, let's get these sides on here, and then what does D1? I find where D1 is. Oh, that's green. It's going to be green, so D1. 8 and 9. All right, so we'll do a little bit of gray on this. Kind of put it together. It apparently was canceled after 3 seasons. We got another 2 seasons after Sci-Fi picked it up. Yes, Sci-Fi, because it hadn't rebranded to Sci-Fi or Sci-Fi at this point yet. Remember that? Remember when we were all, not we were all, but a lot of us were calling it Sci-Fi because Sci-Fi had rebranded to a word they could copyright instead of just, or more to the point, not just copyright, but also to a word that you could Google and get that. Because if you Googled sci-fi, the Sci-Fi Network wouldn't come up early, which was a thing they were very concerned about at the time, because people couldn't find them on the internet. It's really important that they find sci-fi on the internet. Which is why they became sci-fi. Alright, now we'll just hit this with the eraser, get rid of the extra ink, and we're almost done with the head. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? They got picked up, and then they were just like, here's 2 more, and make the best of it. Keep going, and people were like, yes, I would like a paycheck still for doing this show. Please. Which I understand, but, yeah, it doesn't come up a lot. Alright. And these green pieces we were going to hit with black. Very little of this needs to get panel lines, but I'm just going to do it right now. Because it'll actually probably be easier to do this off. I mean, I'm experimenting, right? I'm trying to figure out when is it better to do panel lining. Sometimes it's doing it right on the spruce. Sometimes I like doing it when I take it off. Sometimes I like doing it on the kit. But I feel like if I'm doing these little lines here on a weird thing that's going to be on an angle, it's easier to just do it before I put them on. Oh, we got raided with a party of 4. Thank you, Carice, for raiding. Appreciate that very, very much. Welcome, welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. I am working on the Nadaku, the Altron Gundam from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. Yes, this kit was released in Japan in 2015, based on the mold, the 2011 mold, which was the re-release for a lot of wing kits. But Premium Bandai just made this available for pre-order at the end of last year, middle last year, I should say. And I picked it up because I have never built it. Because the limited release that came out in 2015 in Japan, you could import it. You could go to eBay, you could go to Buy, you could go Hobby Link had it very briefly. There are ways to get it. But in 2015, I wasn't building model kits, and I certainly wasn't importing model kits, so I never got it. Uh, but I could not resist picking this up because I love, 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 love the Nautiku. Fantastic kit. Unlike Michael Gross, who is in all 7 Tremors movies, and the TV show. He's in the Tremors TV show. He's like the star of, one of the co-stars of the TV show. No, that dude was like, Tremors. This is my life now. This is what I do. Unlike the referee in Air Bud, who only came back for one other Air Bud movie as the main villain. The guy what says there ain't no rule that says dogs can't play basketball. That referee is a villain in a later Air Bud movie. Have I seen that Air Bud movie? Fuck no. But do I really appreciate that they went out and made sure that that dude ended up in another Air Bud movie? Hell yeah. And yes, I know that Air Buddies exists, and no, I have not seen a single Air Buddies movie. But I am aware that Air Bud had kids, and those puppies are in movies. I do know some things. Also, thank you, Toasty, for the follow. I appreciate that. I just realized he was the dad in Family Ties. Yes, that is that guy. The dad in Family Ties is the prepper before prepper was a term we all knew in Tremors. He's a survivalist, basically. There is an Air Bud cinematic universe. Yes, Aristophan, there is. You don't have to go down the road if you don't want to, but you can. I'm going to get through this really fast because we do have guests. We did get rated. But this is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel if you'd like. I'll go through these really quick here. This is my pause for the cause. This is my ad break. This is the time to stretch or whatever. The ABCU. Yes. This is just time to say, like, hey, let's just relax for a second. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel if you were so inclined. You're under no obligation to do so. If you're currently a subscriber like Dirty and Aristophan, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe if you're tier 2 like Aristophan is in the chat. Let the people know. Becoming a subscriber is a great way to support what I do. I'm going to stop with the hand claps. You don't need that. Become a subscriber with cash money, your $5, or you could, if you wanted to, use your Prime token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you should use that on someone, your Prime Gaming. Use it for somebody. If not me, somebody. You could gift a sub. You could join our leaderboard with Bobby and Silver and Aristophan on the top of the leaderboard. You could knock one of them out of the spots, or just get my thanks. But gifting a sub is a great way to support this community and share the love. Or bits and coins, also always appreciated. Making sure I always hit that minimum. I mean, we're well over the minimum I need for a payout. The threshold, as they say. But I always appreciate it, and subscribing is a little thing you can do, and you don't have to worry about it. And if you were gifted a sub before, reminder, you can convert that, and they won't charge you till your free month is up, which is good, which they should do, and I'm glad they do it. I also have a Patreon. Until Patreon continues to want to be a service that does not want me to make money on it, or people like me, maybe not specifically me, they don't know who I am, and that's fine. They don't need to know who I am. But they don't seem to like the small creators like myself. They only like the big creators, and that's bullshit. But anyway, I'm on Patreon, and it is a revenue source. So if you'd rather, there's a $1, a $3, a $5, a $10 tier. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? All the links I'm talking about are in the show description of this video. If you're watching this on VOD here on Twitch, just pop the chat open. You can see all these. We're going to get through this quick and then get back to building because we're going to get into the arms on the Nautiku. Let's see. So real quick, direct donations. Because I have to keep buying model kits in order to be a model kit builder stream, I accept donations. Donations, everything I make on Patreon, everything I make through Twitch, AdSense, someday I'll get another payout on AdSense, although in 2020, I believe in 2020 I made $5 in AdSense revenue. So it's going to be a while before I hit that next payout because you got to get $100 before Google will give you money that you earned. But yeah, all that goes into buying model kits and equipment. So if you'd like to support me that way, you're more than welcome to with direct donations. And again, it'll all go to me buying kits. You could also buy a kit. You know, I'm building this kit because I wanted to build it. I got a backlog of kits. But if you bought something from my Amazon wish list, it would jump the queue, and I would build that the next thing I build. I've got Lego sets. I just put in on my list here. I put 2 of these. What are they called? Nano block. Pokemon. There are things called nano blocks, and there are Pokemon nano blocks. And I put up a Charmander and a Snorlax, and I'll build that. I don't know. I think the Snorlax is probably a little expensive, but nano blocks, I don't know anything about them, but I'll build them. I got high grades. I got Pokemon model kits. I got Lego sets. All kinds of different things on there. Different prices for the many kits. Expensive, unfortunately, very expensive master grades because that is the market we're in. Some tools at the bottom. You buy a kit or a Lego set or whatever. It comes to me in the mail. I'll build it on stream. I'll even shoot a video where I talk about the cool thing you bought. Occasionally people buy equipment like this new light that I've got over here, which is great. My new light. But yeah, we'll get through this real quick and get back to building soon, folks. Apologize, but I do got to do my ad read. An alternative is to my wish list, because I understand it's Amazon, is you can go to USA Gundam store if you want, instead of going to Amazon. And I don't have a wish list on there. But you can go to USA Gundam store, and you can buy a gift card. And you can send me a DM on Twitter, because my DMs are open, or a whisper here on Twitch, with the code that you get in your email from buying a gift card. And I'll use that gift card towards something. And you can even say, hey, you should build this thing. Here's some money for it. And if I haven't built it before, I'll pick it up and put it together. So that's an alternative to having an Amazon wish list, because that is important. A free thing you can do is join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. Other people post photos of things they're working on. It's a great little community. It is a laid-back Discord. Sometimes there's only a couple posts a day, and it's pretty chill. You're welcome to jump in to that Discord if you'd like. Some videos I'd like you to watch. Pat Bear's Anime Club Top 10 of the year 2020. I had 10 favorite shows last year, and I made a video about them. And if you're like, Pat, I would rather read about that than watch a video, well, you can read it at giantbomb.com, because they asked me again to do a top 10 list for their website, which is kind of them, and I chose to talk about anime instead of video games, which makes me one of the weirdest lists on the site. Is it weirder than Jeff Bakalar just pitching 10 pinball machines he'd like to see? I don't know. It is as weird, if not weirder, that I did a top 10 video on a website where I'm supposed to talk about video games. I just listed, I'd like to hear Pat Bear's Star Trek tier list. Ooh. Off the top of my head, from Riker getting a beard on in Enterprise, or Next Generation, is the top. Below that is Cisco once he shaves his head, Deep Space Nine. And then below that is Next Generation before the beard. And below that is Deep Space Nine before the shaved head. And then below that is the original. And then below that is Voyager. And then below that is everything else, because I haven't... Oh, wait, where's... I'll come back to you. But I think that's probably my ranking, because I didn't watch all of Enterprise. I didn't watch any of Discovery. Below Decks is good. Where would I put Below Decks? Below Decks is in between Next Generation before Riker gets the beard and Deep Space Nine before Cisco shaves his head. Uh, yeah, okay, I'll put Below Decks in between there because I liked it, but I didn't. It's a good idea. Um, all right, we're getting back to building. I gotta plug one more thing. Uh, Bear with me. We're gonna talk about the third episode of X-Arm in a minute. Cisco's the best, and he's a great father. Totally, you're totally right. I totally agree. Cisco's a great father and an alright son. Um, Bear with me. I watched the second episode of X-Arm and gave my genuine reactions to it and then edited it down. So you don't have to watch X-Arm, the worst show this season, the best worst show this season. You could just watch my reaction to it. But we will talk about the third episode as we get into it because holy shit. Holy shit. It's terrible. But we got 3 shows to talk about. So let's get into that. Let's get into anime conversation about what I watch because this is a thing I do at the second half of every stream. And by second half, I mean the last half hour of this stream. Just the way it worked out. I'll talk about these 3 anime shows. As I continue to do this, we're moving to ARMS. And again, we can now do this. We can do these 2 at a time. We can do a bunch of these things 2 at a time here because they are symmetrical, which is great. So we'll get both XBs out here and get some of our shoulders done. Some parts of our shoulders. Okay. So I'm going to jump ahead just to talk about, to just really insult X-Arm because it's just, we're talking about it now. It's just terrible. All right, so if you haven't been watching X-Arm, it is a future sci-fi anime based on a manga. The director has only done live action before and live action fight choreography before. This is the first time he's at the helm directing an animated piece. The studio has done for-hire work in commercials and never done an anime before. The musical composer is a DJ who has never done a soundtrack before, which is the least... It is like the least smallest red flag of anything, but I do want to say that even the director, like the sound designer, has never worked on an anime before. Like, this is a... The voice actors have done work before, and they are trying their best. I don't know if the source material is good or not. I have no idea. I cannot tell you if the source anime is good. I can only tell you that if you love X-Arm, the manga, you are feeling fucking sad right now because you have a bad anime adaptation. Okay, so the brain in a box, who is at the moment can share a body with an android woman. He asks, will I ever go back to being human? And that's the start of episode 3, which in a different show might be handled better. But this show, it's just hilarious looking. This show is trying to tackle big concepts. Like, there is, do androids have a soul? Do they deserve rights? Because there was a big thing where after a terrorist attack, the android population grew because they needed workforce, and then of course that took jobs away from people, so there was anti-android sentiment rising up. And are they slaves? Should they have rights? Those are big fucking philosophical questions to ask. Thank you for hosting the stream, Kyle, Prime Video. Appreciate that. I am currently telling you about a terrible anime called X-Arm. Like I said, these are big questions that are being asked, and this show cannot deliver on any sort of thought or reflection because it's terrible looking and it's animated so poorly. It's done... they did a lot of motion capture for the fight scenes, Uh, and then some characters are 3D models, and some characters are 2D digital animation. And there's one dude that shows up in this episode. He is a UN soldier who is clearly supposed to be American. And you know he's American because he has a cigarette dangling out of his mouth and a cowboy hat on. And the UN are the bad guys, apparently, which is, sure, okay. Because they're not letting these Japanese cops into the internment zone. Okay, and it's a whole thing. There's a lot going on. Where do I begin? Oh yeah, he's also a 2D character surrounded by 3D models, and it looks like he's. You know, sometimes really good animation. They would layer the cells on the background. They would like do the kind of layering effect, and then trace over it. And then sometimes cheap animation, they would just lay the cells, but they wouldn't trace over things. That's what happened here. He looks like the photo I put up on Twitter, and you can look at my X-Arm thread today. It looks like I photoshopped him and added him into the show. That's how bad it is. Also, you know how I talked about how there were they protest the androids. In a flashback, they talk about how the androids were being protested. They mention this, and then they give a flashback of like an android being attacked by some protesters, and 3 of the protesters are holding signs, and each sign says "No Android." That's their protest sign. The words "No Android," and it's not even done to look like somebody spray painted it or painted it or did it in Sharpie. It's just text written on these white placards, and it's identical text on each one. And that's the level of detail we're talking about on this show. It's a Crunchyroll original. Like that there's only been so many of them. Like that doesn't necessarily mean anything yet, and it certainly doesn't mean anything now if this is what's happening. Like it's unbelievable how bad this looks. Let's see. There's a line of dialogue. Like I said, sometimes the dialogue isn't good, and in another show you might be able to excuse it, but in this show I can't. The line of dialogue is, and of course the booze line is a metaphor, but they say they wanted the booze, but not the booze. So that's BOOZE, like the drink, as a metaphor for the goods, and then BOOS, like they didn't want to deal with it. This is again about a knock on the Americans. It's just incredibly terrible, but also hilarious. They're setting up for a big. We got to see the android fight from the opening music song video, where because that's what it's shot like. The opening video where there's a maid character fighting Alma, the girl android. We got to see that, and then we're setting up for some sort of big mech versus exoskeleton robot fight, which is coming up in the next episode, and I just have to imagine it's gonna look hilarious. I can't imagine it will look good because I can't imagine any part of the show will ever look good. Holy shit, X-Arm. Like literally, if you just type EX-arm into YouTube, you will find dozens of reaction videos. You don't have to watch mine from episode 2. You should, please. But you'll find them because it is the unintentionally the funniest show. It's just top to bottom awful. Unbelievably awful. I kind of love it. Like I'm watching the whole season. I'm not even hate watching this. It is the funniest show this season. Like, it's unbelievable. All right, so now to talk about anime that is not a comedy and is pretty well done. Let's jump back to Jobless Reincarnation, which is beautifully designed. Jobless Reincarnation is done so well. It is uh, it is a fantastic looking show. I don't like it because I hate the main character. But I do like all of the supporting characters, and I think the world building has been interesting, and I particularly enjoy it from a not I don't know how to say this right. I'm going to think about what words here. So Jobless Reincarnation is the godfather or grandfather, however you want to say it, of modern isekai, the different world genre as we know it. The change from the young girl traveling to a different world into the young boy traveling to a different world, generally through reincarnation, or the adult man, in this case, traveling to a different world genre. Um, the modern one, the Sword Art Online and Jobless, basically uh, kind of brought about this modern era of isekai, the different world. So we have them to thank or hate for it. So Jobless isn't doing anything new with the genre because it's inventing the subgenre. It's inventing the subgenre. So it can't do anything new with it. So the tropes that I'm like tired of, it's developing. So I can't be super mad at it. But I can be mad at it because it developed tropes that I hate. So the fact that the main character is very unlikable. In this case, he is a fucking pervert. And he's trying to change his life. He was ostracized and bullied, and then he became a shut-in. And his death was him taking steps to like do a good thing and fight his fears. And now he's in a magical world where literally a world with magic, and he is definitely an overpowered character. But he is still a weird pervert, and that is not that's not stopped in this episode. So that's tough. I do appreciate that the show seems to want to undercut it. Now I've read an article that the director is basically just like, yeah, he doesn't. Not the director, the author was like, yeah, he doesn't get that much better. He might get somewhat better, but he's not super. He doesn't super get better as a person. And it's like, okay, okay, well that sucks. That sucks that he's shitty, and he doesn't get less shitty. Anyway, it started with him, yes, praying to Roxy's relic. Yes, Dirty. Uh, yeah, that's not like great. Uh, a big element of this episode is, the world building stuff. Like I said, that I like. I like the world building stuff. So we meet uh, Sylph, who is definitely. She says, "My dad's an elf and my mom is human." My dad doesn't say that he's part demon, but I have green hair like a demon would. Because that's the whole thing. If you have different colored hair, like basically like if you got like cool girl hair, you've got demon in you. So if you have like blue hair or in this case emerald green hair, you've got some demon in you. So she's at least part demon. She's been bullied, and then basically Rudy's just like, hey, let's just become friends. Of course, he does think that Sylph is a boy, and as it starts, I'm like, this is not a male character. This is a female character. We find out it's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into him figuring it out and being just kind of clueless about it. And then they make up, and they're going to like try to, just be friends. He's teaching her magic, which is cool. No 90 seconds intro sequence was pretty cool. I like when the intro is part of the anime. Yes. Weird, I didn't link anything there or like anything there. Um, oh, yeah, when she showed up, I was like, I bet this. Well, here's the thing. Why did I not think that this was a guy and I was surprised? Um, I assumed that she was a girl immediately because it's an isekai. And even if this is because it's a progenitor of an isekai, because this is where the modern isekai like kind of was born in a fashion, I was like, well, then this is definitely a girl because there's no way it wouldn't be because that's what this the genre is. We already had one girl at the very beginning. We gotta have more. But yes, the episode didn't start with like the music was playing kind of like as the episode started, which was a cool effect. There's the magic in this show looks gorgeous. So even if you don't want to watch clips of it or you want to watch it, you just want to check out some clips of it. The the magic in this show looks fantastic. They spent a lot of money and time on making the magic look very impressive and cool. And there's some magic in here. Sylph has the ability to do, or at least starting to do, uh, wordless magic, which is a big deal in that word. Being able to cast without saying incantations and spells is a big deal. So it's kind of cool that she can do it because he was wondering if she'd be able to. Um, but I like her. And yeah, I do like that he doesn't like he's just like apparently fighting with the bullies, but never really fighting with them. And there's some stuff with him and his dad, which is kind of interesting. Uh, and yeah, the magic stuff is cool. The world building is cool. There's a bunch of characters that we haven't introduced yet to that I'm expecting. You know, like there's a redhead girl that we haven't met yet. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume that she's going to be tsundere because there has not been a tsundere character yet. And red hair generally indicates that. So I'm expecting this redhead girl to be like, humph about him, but secretly be really into him. That's just my guess based on just the look of that character. I could be wrong, but that is definitely my guess. So we'll see. Anyway, I would like this main dude to be less gross. I also know that apparently there was some controversy about the show and or the web novels back in the day, and the author almost stopped working on the show. So I don't know what the fuck that's gonna be, but that's not great. I would say watch some clips of it. It's from a historical perspective. I would say it's interesting to see like how these things work out and how this ended up being a subgenre that is that is part of $1 billion industry. I'm not saying that isekais make $1 billion. I'm saying isekais are a big part of modern web novels and light novels and manga and anime. Uh, and I also completely understand why this thing didn't get adapted until 2021 because, oh boy, some of it is fucking yikes. And I totally understand why it took a long time to hit where it is. All right, and then the last show I want to talk about is Dirty was telling me, because I had this question. Suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Does this show just move really fast because it's adapting material and that's how fast the material moves? Or is it like, we're not going to get a second season, so let's just fucking do as much as we can with the show? Because at the start of this episode, which is episode 4, the beginning of episode 4 of Suppose a Kid, I will tell you all of the things that we have had. We introduced our main character, and we learned about the world. We introduced a love interest, and a friend interest, and another love interest. We found out that there is a missing princess, and that the missing princess is Marie, the witch that we met in the first episode and is a main character. We found out that the military guy, who was kind of fun and kind of neat and didn't seem like he was going to turn out to be a bad guy, he was not set up to be the villain, There was literally not a hint until the third episode that he was the villain. Is the villain of the series, or the first arc of the series. Also, we found out he's not the main villain. He was manipulated by a demon king, the demon lord. And so there we found out. So that's all the first 3 episodes. So in this episode, we literally, I gotta wrap up what should take 12 episodes, because it wraps up. This first part of the story wraps up. So Lloyd takes care of the monster insects, but of course he doesn't consider them monsters. Lloyd wants to go help. To be fair, even if this is 9 chapters of the manga, that's still moving incredibly fast. Yes. So I was like, oh, is part of the fun of this, maybe part of the fun or the idea of the series is that because Lloyd is so overpowered, you can do a lot in a couple episodes. Like what normally would take 12 episodes, is that part of the joke of it is, well, yeah, you can. He instantly defeats spoilers. He instantly defeats the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord Abaddon is not a fucking big deal to Lloyd. So what would normally take an adventurer, a hero, having to unlock hidden potential and ability and the power of friendship and love to finally overcome the Demon Lord in episode 12, or that they extended by not doing an opening and closing song so they could get as much time as possible. This is episode 4. We knew before this that Lloyd couldn't interfere. The village he is from, they're not humans. He doesn't know that, but the village they're from, they can't interfere in the world of humans, but they, unless it's some kind of catastrophe. And hey, guess what? This is a catastrophe. This is the Demon King, or Demon Lord being, active. So now Lloyd can't interfere. So Marie is just like, why didn't you fucking say sooner that you're a demon? He shouldn't say fucking, but she's like, why didn't you say sooner? This isn't a problem at all. I just gotta go find Lloyd. Like, this is gonna be no sweat. I've only seen the 9 chapters of the manga, so everything from here on is brand new to me. Oh wow, okay, yeah. So, let's see. Oh, on the way to the castle, we find Alan. Now, Alan is the very prototypical. He is the military. He wants to join the military to rank up, to get like credits and stuff, because he's of royal blood and he wants prestige of it. He's an asshole. He almost dies sparring with Lloyd. He was going to spar with Lloyd and he would have died, and he doesn't know that. But he's scared of these monsters. And Lloyd gives him a pep talk. Of course, the thing that Lloyd was scared of was fighting like some kind of big monster, like legitimately like world threat once. But he doesn't realize that because it's Lloyd. He doesn't know that he once took on an incredible thing. He's just like, yeah, I was scared once. It's okay to be scared, but you just need to rise above it because you're a soldier and you're gonna do cool shit. And that like affects him. That like honestly changes Alan, and Alan like realizes he can be strong enough. The name of this anime is, it's a long one. Suppose a kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Suppose a kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. It is on Funimation. It is 4 episodes in. Basically, the premise is Lloyd is the weakest kid from his village, and it's always bothered him. He wants to be like he calls him his brother, but a guy from his village who is the strongest. He's like a cool hero, and he had like joined the army and he was a soldier and was rad, and he wants to be like him. So he's gonna go and he's gonna go to a starter area because he's the weakest kid. So he's like, well, I'm gonna go and like become a soldier, and then I'll be able to be trained so I can be awesome, like you are. But the thing is, it doesn't matter that Lloyd is the weakest person from his village, because his village is incredibly overpowered. So he's already incredibly strong. And it's just like, not a big deal that he is quote unquote weak because everybody like it. Yeah, it's like it's fine. It's fine that he's weak because he's not at all. He's just the weakest person in a place that is incredibly overpowered and very strong. Uh, so yeah, so sorry, I'm going to make sure I do this right. Occasionally I mess this part up, so I want to make sure I get these connected correctly. All right, so this is going to go like this. And this is going to go like this. And then it's all going to work out. Why am I doing what is wrong? What am I doing wrong? Sorry, folks. There, well, no. Anyway, as I gonna take this out completely apart, make sure I'm doing it right, because this is an arm, and if I do this wrong, then the arm will bend weird, and I don't want that. So this is gonna go here like this, because that's how that looks. Yep, okay. And then this is gonna go in here, like that. Yep, okay. And then this connects the two pieces together. Great. Anyway, okay, so the guy that was working, didn't know he was working for a demon lord, who was the dude that was bringing all these people together, that thought he was using the king, but instead he was being used by the demon lord. He has been turned into like an insect man, and he's whooping everybody's ass, but Selen, the yandere belt princess, her belts are like basically an auto defense. So she's just like, yeah, this is no problem. I can just tank this. And then Lloyd shows up. Why am I fucking? All right. Oh, I think I'm putting this on wrong. I got it now. Sorry, everybody. Think I was putting this on wrong. This part was going on wrong. We did it! Great! I was putting this piece on wrong. And now I'm not. Hooray! Because there's a right way and a wrong way, and I forgot about that. That is the annoying part of doing these kits. Is when you're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing, and then you just fuck it up. Anyway, Lloyd tries to like get through to him, but there's a kind of like a comedy of errors of him being like not understanding what's going on because Lloyd does not think he is strong. The best thing happened in this episode. Again, this should be in episode 12, not episode 4. Marie is like, she just like straight up lies. She's like, hey, the king is that's a guy, that's a drunk guy, and he got messy. He fell down and got messy. Would you mind like cleaning him up with that ancient rune you use that disinfects stuff? It disenchants things, which is like a miraculous thing. So she straight up just like lies to him because she knows if he says like that's a demon king, like he won't do anything, but he can clearly like defeat him. So she just like lies to him, which is great because that's what you should do. And he does it and saves the day. You have to trick him into helping the way you want him to because he's not going to understand it. Anyway, let's see. And now the wrap up that would be the episode 12 wrap up. But this is just the start of our journey. Shoma, who's the guy that Lloyd wants to be like, shows up but then takes off again. I don't know why. So that's like confusing. Meredithon, the guy who got turned into a monster, he's not a monster anymore. But he is going to be working in the village that Alka runs to pay for his crimes, and kind of like figure out where he went wrong. So maybe other people won't go down the road he went down, which is better than being murdered or a monster. Mari is going to continue. Mari is going to continue living as a witch and not as a princess. Most likely because Lloyd still lives there. She is into Lloyd, even if he is a child. Well, he's a teen. Uh, let's see what else. 14 grade. Let's see. Oh yeah. Lloyd got into the military academy. Uh, uh, Feels like it's setting up Shoma as the big bad from how the lowly grandma reacted to his name. Yeah, the fact that he disappeared. Also, in the opening credits, he has a dragon, and that seems like maybe not great, or he is a dragon. That's my guess. My actual guess is that he's not that he commands dragons, is that he's a dragon posing as a human. Uh, and he's like actually the big bad at the end. Yeah, that is my guess. Um, but I don't know. Yeah. So Alan's now part of the crew because he considers Lloyd to be his master, and Alan recommended him to be part of the military academy. So now Lloyd is joining the military academy. Uh, and also, there's a moment where we find out that the belt, the curse thing, is like part of some sort of epic beast, and we don't know why. Like, and we almost get an explanation of why it's on her. We almost get an explanation of why Selen has that curse. Uh, because it can even stop the spells that the witch is going to do, which is pretty big. Um, but yeah, that's the end of this. Uh, it is a fine enough show. Here's the real thing. There's a lot of drama in it that I don't think needs to be in there. And partially it felt out of place because it was rushing through things. Because it has a very silly, simple premise that I feel like it is consistently trying to ignore that I'm not a big fan of, because the premise is great, and then it's like, well, we're gonna ruin it. And again, it did breeze through. This should be 12 episodes in these 4 episodes. A lot happened, and that just is just so strange. All right, we're gonna pause on this. We got to work on more of the arms. We'll work on more of the arms on Thursday. We got to pick up where we left off here. But we've gotten some of our arms built. I think actually I did this wrong. Yeah. So I gotta do this. Yeah. Um, but we are going to raid, folks. So we're not done here. We are going to go raid somebody, and we're going to find someone awesome to go and hang out with. Hopefully they will stream for a while. Sometimes I pick someone. I always pick somebody that I think is great and that you'll like. But occasionally I do pick someone that is almost done with their stream, which I don't want to do anymore. So I'm now going to look up and see when the person I think we're going to go raid started streaming. Oh, nope. They did not tweet that they went live, so we can't do that. We're just going to have to risk it. We're going to go raid my friend Liz Star, who is doing art of some sort. So we're going to go give Liz a raid because Liz rules. Liz is a speedrunner and fantastic person. So we're gonna and is doing some goblin art. So we're gonna go raid Liz. So feel free to come along the raid. If you don't want to come on the raid, that's okay. You don't have to, but I would love it if you did, because why not continue having fun? Oh, sorry. My next stream is on Wednesday. It's all about anime. This season of anime, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's my bonus stream where I'm going to be talking about all of the cool anime I'm watching this season and the bad anime I'm not watching this season, and the one bad anime I'm watching, which I talked about tonight. And that's Wednesday. Thursday, back to working on this, finishing up the arms, starting on the legs. You know the drill. Thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for coming along on this raid, and I'll see you in the next build with Baer. Goodbye, everybody. Good night, and thanks for watching. Bye bye bye.